The meeting of the Manchester Planning and Zoning Commission will now come to order. First item on the agenda is a review and approval of the January 21st minutes. Everyone should have a copy of the minutes in their package. If you take a moment to review them, see if everything looks complete or if any changes are needed.
I'll make a motion, we approve the January 21st, 2025 minutes.
We have a motion for approval of the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Very good. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda,
Okay.
zoning administrator's report. Good evening, Michelle. How are you?
Good evening, I'm good. As you know, Equine Meadow we're moving on it tonight, because it's been the longest development we've ever done. Maverick One Solar has begun construction back there. We've had a couple issues as far as how they're getting in and out of there, and I think we've talked to them and resolved that. The Carroll property, it did have an actual building permit come in on that, so they will be building a house up there. I have heard nothing from Patapsco at this point, and I have nothing from Patriots at this point. So I think they're both being done by the same engineering firm, so I guess they're working on that. And I have not heard from the Lippy property. I know that they were out there surveying, so I assume they want to put the two parcels together so that they can meet the setbacks for the solar field. And I think that's about all I have going on right now.
Thank you, Michelle. Chris, council report?
Yeah, in addition to the normal council business, we introduced a few new ordinances that will be voted on at the May 13th meeting. Ordinance 265 is increasing the water rate 77 cents per thousand from $3.85 to $4.62. And ordinance 266, which will be increasing the sewer rate at $1.20 per thousand from $6 to $7.20.
Any questions for Chris? Very good, thank you. Mr. Gray, how are you this evening?
I am well, and you?
Doing well, thank you. What does the county have for us tonight?
Just a couple things. Number one, water and sewer. Still waiting to hear back from MDE regarding the fall amendment to the 2023 Water and Sewer Master Plan. Manchester put in their amendment in the fall. I will let Michelle know about when I receive confirmation back from MDE ASAP. Currently, for the spring 2025 amendment to the Water and Sewer Master Plan, we have Tawnytown, Union Bridge, New Windsor, and Hampstead are both moving along, and I will be, hopefully the plan is to be at their planning and zoning commissions the end of this month to present the amendments to their to the towns. For the master plan update, the Planning Commission has been discussing different aspects of the master plan, including background information and work program at each of their regularly scheduled Planning and Zoning Commission meetings. As the chair and Michelle and the town administrator was at one of the county
Right.
planning and zoning commissions to discuss Manchester. That was last month. I forgot what day, but it was last month.
Early, I think it was early in the month, yeah.
And also the county right now is establishing work groups for different areas of the master plan. So for instance, there'll be an agricultural work group, a housing work group, and I'm heading the economic development work group for, those work groups will look at background studies, like the housing work group will be looking at the housing study. The economic work group will be looking at the economic development and land use study that was completed the end of 2023 and presented to the Board of County Commissioners. And the work groups will review all that information and make recommendations to the County Planning and Zoning Commission, who will ultimately review and present the plan to the Board of County Commissioners. And besides that, everything is good with the annual report. This Manchester always gets the information in ASAP. And one last item of business, I was fortunate enough to attend the National Planning Conference in Denver a couple weeks ago, and like I did 2 years ago when I went, I brought Michelle some reading material if she would like to look through Planning Magazine, which is a publication of the American Planning Association. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and thank you.
Yeah, well, we appreciated the opportunity to present before the County Planning Commission just to raise some of the issues that we have here in Manchester, especially regarding traffic and parking. So hopefully, as we move forward, we'll have some more collaboration with the county to address some of our concerns. So it was good that we could coordinate that with them.
Yes, and thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Thank
it's our
you.
pleasure. Any questions for Andrew?
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a fence request for Emmanuel Church. Come up to the microphone and introduce yourself, please.
My name's Frank Burnett. I'm the head of property at Emmanuel Lutheran Church, right at 3184 Church Street. And we had submitted a drawing requesting a fence between our two buildings, the sanctuary and the Sunday school building. We have a little red shed there, if any of you have been around the back. That's it.
Yeah, everybody should have a copy of what
Your head.
the gentleman's
Good.
speaking about in your package.
And we have that little shed there, and what we wanted to do was put a security-type fence up because we've had trespassers. We actually had a homeless person go back and stay in their underhang at the back of the church. The drawing that we submitted was for a chain-link fence, 8 foot high. It would go approximately 16 feet between the buildings and have 2 4-foot gates kind of in the center. My question is, since you don't allow chain link, could we put up a black coated, vinyl coated fence and gate so it'd be black all the way across? Or would that not be acceptable?
Now, Michelle, we've had other issues similar to this where we've made allowances for
Yes.
fences that were not in strict compliance with the code.
Yes, we have, and most of them have been not residential, but I won't say business, but most of your schools are that way. We did it with Maverick Solar. Some of the developers have put some up on the back of their swale, or, what am I trying to say? Walls. So yes, we have done it.
Yeah,
That's why I thought it would be worth it to bring it here, because it's not a residence. And the gentleman had first come in suggesting just chain link, but I did try to talk him into the black vinyl chain link, so at least it kind of blended to the back.
well, it sounds like you were very pervasive because he's offered it to us. It wasn't a requirement, but you strongly suggested it, so,
Yes.
yeah, that's fine.
Sir, I've got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
The little red shed in the middle,
Yes.
does that go all the way to the building behind it, or is
No.
there space behind that little red shed?
It's approximately 8 foot deep and as wide as you see there. And it's to store some of our equipment that we use outside around the church. And it is under alarm as well. We have it tied to the security system.
How far does it
Does
sit
the
away
shed
from the
go all the
wall?
way to the building, or is there a gap in there still?
There's a gap on the right side and the left side, and when you go around the left side of the building, there are some steps that go down to the lower level that would take you into the lower level of the church.
Okay. And is that the only way out of the lower level, or is there another means of
Oh,
egress from the lower
no,
level?
that's just one of, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 additional doors to get out of the lower level.
Okay, so there's other means of egress in the event of an
Yes, sir.
emergency? Okay. And I assume that this is not the only time you've had an incident.
We have had some incidents of trespassers, and this has been the most concerning because of our insurance. We're more worried about the liability for the church than anything, and that's
Yeah, if
why
something were to happen to the person
Sure,
who's back
then
there.
we would
Yeah.
be holding the bag, so.
Understood. Anybody else have any questions? I guess, go ahead,
If
go
no
ahead.
one has a question. In light of incidents, and the need for visibility into the area to ensure that no one has scaled the fence, I am willing to accept this as a needed variance to the fencing requirements, that it not have to be solid opaque. It does not need to have slats in it that would obscure vision into this area to where a person could get back there and hide and become a danger to themselves, danger to the property, and danger to the public.
Anybody on the board have any concerns about what Bob just said? I think it all makes sense. Gail, any questions? Larry?
I agree.
Okay, I guess barring that, I will entertain a motion.
I make motion to approve the request for a black vinyl fence between the two structures.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Our pleasure.
Good luck.
Now, as we go from wanting to put in a fence, we move to a removal of a fence request on Maverick Solar.
I'm the property owner where Maverick Solar is building.
Mr. Lamont?
Yes, Mr. Lamont. One of the conditions to get the solar farm approved was the planning board recommended a vinyl fence to protect the neighbors from the visibility of the solar farm.
Correct.
Since then, there's been two houses built right up against that property line, which are adjacent to the solar farm. Now, the solar farm sets back probably approximately 300, 350 feet from the neighbor's property line. The solar company erected the vinyl fence like they were asked to do, as the board approved. The fence went up. I received some calls from neighbors who were upset about the fence. I came to town, I went and talked to every one of them and told them that they have concerns, and spoke with Michelle also, to bring it to Michelle, and she said bring it to the planning board. I don't know I don't think any of them are here tonight to speak about it, but I will do whatever the planning board wants. Michelle, do you have anything that
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you know how many neighbors raised an issue about the fence? I know originally there was one when we first talked about it.
There's two houses, Marty and Riley's garden.
Right.
And one that is all behind them, and all three of them I've spoken to who had requested that they just take it away. Two of them have already put up fences, and so it's like fence against fence, even though they're not solid fences. But it does make it, I mean, a little hard to maintain between and do everything else.
Yeah, understood.
Do we need anything in writing from them to say they're gonna take it down, or just, we're good based on?
I hadn't even requested that. It was just that I could not make the decision because you requested.
No, understood.
required-
No, I mean, it was all done because most people don't want to look at solar panels, so
Right.
that's why we have the setback requirements for the panels and the request for landscaping and screening. But if we've got people that are putting up see-through fences and don't mind looking at the panels, then we can take that under consideration.
And Gary, you did talk to the second house
I
back.
spoke with all three of them 2 or 3 weeks ago. Two of them got back to me and said they would like to have it down originally, and the gentleman who lives right on Grafton Street. But I never heard from the family that's in the middle there. I don't know their names. But they said, I think all three of them had contacted you.
I thought it was all three, but I'd like to, before we actually, even if you approve the removal of it, before we actually take it down, I'd like to call or reach out to that
What was that?
person. if they approve it tonight, that it can come down before we actually take it down, I do want to speak to them to let them know it's happening and it will not go
Oh,
back.
yeah,
Yeah, we'd like to have at least some written record of it. I want to have something on the file. If we approve a takedown, I'm not taking it down.
Right.
And then have them come back and say, why'd you take the fence down? We thought it meant this, so,
Okay, I will put together,
yeah. I've seen that happen all too often,
Henry,
unfortunately.
you're right where I was gonna go, that if we do vote to allow the fence to be removed, we need to have, written verification from each property owner
Exactly.
that is affected, saying that they understand the zoning requirement to have the fence, and they have specifically requested for the fence to be removed, so that if and when they sell that property and a new owner comes in and looks at the zoning requirement, we're not back here again going,
Right.
why isn't there a fence?
okay, I will put something together for them to sign, and I will personally go to each one of them, but I'll run it by our attorney before I do, so it's.
Yeah, because we want language in there, like Bob just expressed, that
Right,
that they're aware that the code requires this, and the only reason, if we decide as a board to approve it, the only reason we're amending that is because they made a specific request.
And it needs to be recorded in the land record, so in the
Right, as part,
future-
so if they sell it, it's part, when the title company
Transfers
does
to
a
the
search and does a transfer a deed, that there's a notation there that this was granted at the request of that property owner,
okay.
so.
say, I'll do whatever the board recommends. If it's expensive to put up, if it makes the neighbors happy, we will take it down. Thank you.
I know you would, thank you.
So do you need a motion, Henry?
We'll wait till they get assigned. And then,
Well, then that pushes it a month.
Yeah, I can, after I get them signed, I'll send them back.
Yeah,
to
Bob,
the
we can get a
attorney.
motion and condition it like we've
Yeah.
done some other things, subject to Michelle getting the appropriate paperwork from each property owner and approved by the town attorney. So, yeah, we can take a motion.
I make a motion to approve the request for consideration of removing the fence as discussed prior to the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second requesting, allowance for the removal of the fence. All those signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. We'll get back to you, Mr. Lamont, once Michelle gets everything squared away. Okay, the last item on the agenda is Equine Meadows. My hair was blonde when this project started. A discussion about off-site storm drain update. I'm going to recuse myself from the discussion because my company has business dealings with DDC on other projects, so I don't think it would be appropriate for me to vote on any motion or make any comments on this project at this time. But we have a quorum, so we can proceed. Okay?
Hi, I'm Paul Cavanaugh with the Design Development Consultants, 184 East Main Street, Westminster, Maryland. We're here not only for the off-site plan, but also with we also have full county approvals for the on-site plan. But for the off-site project, the proposal is to increase the size of the conveyance pipe and make a full connection down Westminster Street to the existing outfall. So we're removing the current condition where the outfall flows onto Westminster Street, and Westminster Street is the conveyance.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I'll let Bob everybody open up their plans, they can take a look at this. So I'm not commenting, I'm just gonna ask a question. All the on-site stormwater management is now
Completely approved, yes, sir.
Is that
Preliminary plan.
preliminary plan approval? That's what I wanted to get to.
Does town staff have any concerns with the way the plans have been developed so far?
The offsite,
The off-site portion?
we had no
Speaker.
further comments on the offsite.
I'm sorry?
We had no further comments on the offsite.
Thank you.
And all your comments were addressed on the on-site stuff as well?
On-site,
Yeah.
no, we have further comments on that we're working on right now. Also, I don't know how much.
Yeah, go ahead, Rodney, repeat.
So we had no further comments on the offsite, but the onsite, we're working on some comments currently.
Specifically, what are the issues remaining on the on-site?
I think they're very minimal. It's mostly some labeling things, some changes of, I don't have anything major, did you?
Nothing major, just some, we're adding a couple more roadway valves, water valves. Again, it was just some verbiage we wanted checked.
Okay, so it's
Change.
nothing,
No.
nothing major that is affected by computations or anything like
No,
that?
not at all.
Okay.
But I do think, I don't know if you want to speak or Robert wants to speak, but I'd like to bring the commission up to speed on what we did discuss in our meeting the other day as to the phases and the process of doing this off-site work.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy to speak to that.
Okay.
So the one condition of the off-site approval, final approval, the Mylars are waiting for signature. The PWA has been reviewed, approved, waiting on final signatures. One condition of moving forward with the off-site improvements is to have the on-site sediment trap installed to provide extra capacity and storage for when prior to the off-site system being fully installed.
So you'll be over managing while the pipe's getting
Yes, sir.
extended?
Right, so it's not the permanent condition, it's a sediment trap.
Right.
But it's,
It's a reasonable request. So with the increased pipe size for downstream, obviously you're going to get to the downstream a little faster. Are you going to have any impacts on the downstream storm facilities or the discharge point?
no, and actually, of course, in today's condition, there's less runoff from the site than there was 5 years ago prior to demolition.
There will be.
The runoff curve numbers is a much more impactful in the calculations of the volume of water entering the ultimate discharge point. So although the pipe conveyance will get it there efficiently, the volume is not impacted. And of course, the overall drainage area to the discharge point is 100 acres. And so a small increase from a 30-lot subdivision, even if it was there, is percentage, there is no increase at the discharge point. The on-site project is managed for the 10 and 100-year storm ultimately, and in the sediment basin condition, it's managed for the 25-year event.
I care about the sediment, but I care more about the final condition, so thank you.
Right.
Have you analyzed it under the pending MDE changes?
Meaning of the NOAA storms?
The new NOAA 14 Atlas?
Yes,
storm?
that's exactly, NOAA sees is what's used in the model, yes.
You have looked at NOAA 14, thank you.
Oh, no, that's what the models, that's what we use in the models.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I have no further questions related to the off-site storm piping.
I guess my question is, what exactly are you looking for at this point from us?
I believe it's to allow the off-site final plans to be approved. That the on-site preliminary plan be permitted to move to finals.
The stuff on the onsite, that was the letter you sent us a whiles back from the county
Give-
that indicated that the onsite stuff was approved.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that was,
And then they had some things that needed to be addressed at final. Okay.
yes.
Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Kavanaugh?
I believe in the past, we had already given this some sort of approval, the off-site, because it was separate at the time.
Right.
But since it's gone through so much, do you want to make a formal motion to approve it and move it on, or?
I would think we should.
Okay.
Yeah. Any public comment? I forgot about Mr. Lamont's property.
Gary Lamont, the original owner and builder of the Westchester Square complex. When that was constructed, there was basically a certain amount of water that ran down through there forever. We piped that water under the parking lot and installed a yard inlet at the upper end. I forget which storm it was, but we had a tremendous amount of rain. The waste and leaves and stuff, debris that washed down off of Westminster Street clogged the town's inlet right there at Westminster Street. The water overflowed, came down and clogged the large catch basin we had there and flooded two of the buildings. And both of the stormwater ponds at that time had overflowed. My only concern is that we don't have that kind of situation occur again. Thank you.
Mr. Kavanaugh, just any comments to Mr. Lamont's
No,
concerns? Because I know that's been a big issue,
Right.
the runoff coming across.
And if
Across the
anybody
road.
has been down Westminster Street and the specific inlet, that doesn't meet any of today's standards. I absolutely agree that that condition, that small little inlet could not handle a storm event because the existing system discharges onto Westminster Street, goes down the hill to a small inlet in a sump, and that inlet isn't going to handle that storm event. The improvements for what's proposed are a pair of 10-foot inlets that will, along with not directly discharging onto Westminster Street. So that discharge doesn't enter the two proposed inlets that are in the plans. All that water stays underground. And then on top of that, the surface runoff, the existing surface runoff is captured in two inlets and also provided to a safe discharge point.
Rob, you taking a look at those inlets? You taking a look at those inlets?
There's one close to the sanitary pump station and one down in the sump.
We're good? Okay. no other questions, do we have a motion?
We're just approving the off-site.
Well, they also want approval for taking the concept on-site approval to final.
Yes.
Those are the two issues, the off-site and then the concept, to allow them to move to final design on the on-site.
Two motions or just one motion?
It can be done as one.
I'll make a motion, we approve the off-site stormwater plans for Equine Meadows, and we allow them to move to final on the on-site.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the off-site stormwater improvements, stormwater management, and the move to final on the on-site stormwater management for Equine Meadows. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I second the
Oh,
motion.
I second the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Gentlemen, hopefully the next time I see you, I will still be alive. It has been a while, but it is nice to be back. We missed your smiling face. So, okay, is there anybody in the audience that has any thing they would like to bring up with the town, with the commission? Okay, if not, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everyone.